So while catching up, I tuned into QueenBee, and the link for the live will be in the description as always. However, it was brought up before a really good discussion starts, and I'm only going to play an excerpt or a clip of it. If you want to hear the rest of it, which I think is worth doing, click the link or go to QueenBee's, and it's her, as of now, her last live. But apparently Laura decided to do a quiz, and there were it was multiple choice, and I think it was Unirock, B Tim, and the Glarer on whose privates were the smallest during the Gannon Stouch trial, or technically Leticia Stouch, which I thought was extremely distasteful, and why really some have no business doing true crime. But you be the judge. Let's take a look.
With more than one person, let alone 5, 6, 7, 10. It's hard.
I'm a little disappointed, Queen.
Yeah,
I was just told that I lost the vote. Apparently, Perplex QT, while watching a trial of a child, decided to put a vote about who has the smallest penis.
Are you serious?
I have that. That's
she put the Glare, Unirock, or me. And I'm tired of
a trial. Is she playing Gannon's trial?
Yes.
And
Here's the screen. Here's a screenshot. You can look
at
it.
That's why I thought it was hilarious.
Wow, that's during a child's trial.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of sad I lost. I was kind of hoping I would win. I would beat the.
That's not the point.
I'm just joking. I'm trying to make a light.
I made the mistake yesterday of
she put that out during the child's trial.
Well, look at the chat. Look at the. I dropped it in the back.
I can't see Tim. I'm in the back.
You can just press the button and at
least.
Luckily for her, it's law and crime. That's how channels have gotten themselves in trouble, but they're not super crazy about striking channels. However, some channels started off that way, like okay with people streaming, and then went for the channels later on if they saw specifically that people weren't present for their stream. However, she was present when I clicked into the chat replay. She was chatting with her own chat, so I don't know if that helps, but and because they dropped the screenshot of the poll in their Discord link, I'm not in their Discord, I went ahead and tried to see if a poll will show up in the chat replay, and it didn't as far as I could see. However, you can see at one point they're talking about the poll, and I'm going to put those screenshots up on the screen. I just don't think this is appropriate. Imagine if this were a male creator talking about a female's chest or something. I don't think it's cool for either gender to do it to another. It's just inappropriate, in my opinion. And if you don't know what the Leticia Stouch trial is, it's a woman that's been charged and accused of ending the life of her stepson, Gannon Stouch. Gannon was 11 years old, and he was reported missing on January 27th, 2020. His father was on National Guard deployment, and his body was found on March 17th, 2020. Not really the best time to be doing moving on.
Channels, that's how they pretend to be true crime channels, is they just steal someone's stream of a court case and they go off and do their chores. So I thought it was funny, like yesterday, Betty Bullhorn, I made the mistake of listening to Laura for a while and Betty, because I actually was interested in if they had any opinion about Molly's channel going down or what their chats were saying. And of course there was very little. But Betty Bullhorn just left the stream on, and there was no activity on her stream for like an hour and a half. And then I go to watch the news, and her and JLR are at the MAGA rally. So I thought it was so funny that she leaves her channel streaming, probably hoping that her stolen content without any value-added commentary is going to be getting her super chats while she's off doing something else, not even hitting her channel at a political rally. I thought that was just so funny. She just left it. She left it alone. There was nothing going on, and her chat stayed in there because I went like an hour later, and the screen hadn't changed. There was no activity. There was nobody running that stream. And then I see her on TV, taking selfies with the indicted one.
I don't see her not taking that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like she's really into Trump and stuff, and that's whatever. Who to each their own. I don't.
Well, no, but that's fine. It just seems funny that you're running a stream claiming to be an advocate for law and order and justice, and you're not running your stream and children, and you're hoping to be getting live chats super chats while your live stream is up, and then you're not running your live stream and you're off somewhere else at a political rally caught on TV. It just seems fun,
like there's no commentary being like, why is she? Why
that's not fair use.
With all those people there, I wouldn't even lift my stuff up like that. You know what I mean?
You're
Yeah.
stealing someone else's stream. You're not using it for fair use. You're hoping to make some, and you're monetized and hoping to make money off that while you're doing something else. I mean,
And look what Laura's doing. Could you
that's
believe
not
which I
professional.
just saw that Be Tim thing that she was doing? That's ridiculous. That's
These are people that claim to be advocates and professionals.
Hi, Skep. How are you?
Hi.
Long time no see.
Yeah.
I believe our conversation about, I'm going to say, what, about a year ago, Skep, is what exactly what's happening right now that we thought could never happen, right?
Well, right, and that's why I mean I tend to be a party pooper, and some people, I understand people want to jump on the Schadenfreude a moment, and I get it.
Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude is the experience of pleasure, joy, or self-satisfaction that comes from learning of or witnessing the troubles, failures, or humiliation of another. It is a borrowed word from German with no direct translation that originated in the 18th century.
But again, as a scientific skeptic, we go after bad actors all the time, and I've been doing it for 10 years, not just in true crime, but everywhere. And I mean, yes, enjoy the small victories, but be a bit careful and humble about doing all the back patting, because there's a million bad actors that just started today, and so it never ends. So a bit of perspective, I think, is important. And like I said, I just want to make sure that we understand that MGL did this to herself. I do think, however, that the clip channels and the commentary channels put massive pressure on these people. I think that that's what's good and important, and that we should continue to promote, because that puts the narcissist on edge, and if they can't remain composed, then they make mistakes, and then they get scrutinized by the powers that be, in this case YouTube and its human reviewers. And then what we'd like to believe is justice actually occurs in this one case. But this is an isolated case. MGL did it herself. Had somebody been around her and just said, calm your ass down for a few days, go take a vacation, go get laid, go have some fun with some friends, don't respond and retaliate in kind, or you might cross the line. And so that's why I said, Tim, you and I were talking about it. I brought up, I was just hoping that obviously I'm always hoping that either YouTube responds or these people implode and kill their own, and self-sabotage. They self-sabotage. Yeah. So in this case, I think she self-sabotaged.
Definitely.
because the pressure the heat was so hot. Both Betty and Molly were just losing it from the clip channels.
They were
And
spiraling.
they were just getting increasingly defensive and spiraling out of control. And I think that that's what our impact has been.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Let me tell you, thank God. And I mean, for everybody out here, it was amazing to see, and it still is amazing to see today, the group that had all come together, with this same thing, going on out there. That's what we were talking about before is, everybody was doing this, but everybody was all spread out, or they weren't aware of it. The awareness is key.
So we got one, but again, at the end of the day, this behavior is ubiquitous. It's happening on all sorts of channels. Some people are far more subtle and careful about their words. People like Betty and Molly can't control telling the truth and telling you what's going on inside their skull. And so in that sense, they make it easy. And we push them. But the smarter channels, they're doing the exact same thing right now. It's just not a bandwagon. We're not all going after the other behavior. So again, my only recommendation, because again, I like to believe I promote particular values and principles, as opposed to just going after idiots on the internet. I mean, there are idiots everywhere on the internet. That's not the point. We're trying to be standing for certain principles and values, and we should be consistent about it. And and then keep up the good work and notice it in other places, and don't just stay on the trending bandwagon now, which is the easy, low-hanging fruit of Molly and Betty. There's more of it, and so keep up the good work and keep making the same arguments and trying to be internally consistent and stand for the same values. Again, if it's wrong with one channel, it should be wrong everywhere, and it should be wrong within our groups. And back to what Tim was saying when he was asked, would you stand up for it when you see it in your chat room? And yes, I mean that is the point. And I realize it's really hard when you have. I mean, I asked a couple people very often. I've said, we should commend the people that were once an ally of bad actors, and it's easy to play backseat quarterback and say, how did you not see all the signs? You saw their behavior every day. I think it's weak sauce to say that you didn't notice all the bad behavior, but we need to be aware that humans ally with people for different reasons. Somebody was nice to them, they were lonely, they have a little belonging, and so we need to be sympathetic to that. I understand it's never easy. I mean, when I've asked people, like, why did you once support that bad actor, very often the line is because they were good to me and nice to me and helpful and generous at a time when I was going through something hard, and so that personal friendship. And I mean, think about it just in our everyday lives. When somebody is nice to you and you have a good relationship with them, I mean, how do we respond when you see them kicking a dog, when you see them abusing their child, when you see them lying to a third party or just being an asshole to someone else? Do you just put your fingers in your ears and say, la, 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 they're nice to me? I mean, these are battles that we all have to figure out. Some are we should be willing to fight, and others not. Sometimes it's more important for us to keep our relationships healthy, and we have to choose our battles, but some things should be just beyond the pale. I mean, if you see somebody beating a child in the street, I don't care how good they are to you. I mean, how can you not stand up and call that shit out? So this is the hard thing when we have to deal with moral philosophy, when we're social animals who need to be loved and belong and be part of tribes. And so it's very hard to get people to be consistent and then have the courage to stand for, the right behavior and for principle. It's hard. These things are not easy.
It takes time, I think, too, to recognize their bad behavior.
And if you love someone, you can also do it diplomatically. And if you like somebody, you can also do it diplomatically with their best interest in mind, so they don't get defensive. There's also a way to go about being honest and having a conversation with somebody you care about. But these things are subtle and nuanced, and it's not easy. And anybody claiming that it's easy
Takes time.